skywalk standing on air. The wind had picked up as they neared the glacier skywalk, a curving bridge of steel and glass, suspended 918 feet above the sun-wrapped valley. Even before stepping onto it, Dr. Patel hesitated. You ever stand on nothing, Qubit? I once ran a simulation of entropy collapse. He replied, this feels more stable. They stepped onto the glass floor. The drop beneath was dizzying, jagged cliffs, pine trees the size of threads, and rivers curling like veins far below. A hawk cut the air in silence, rising on a thermal draft. Dr. Patel gripped the railing with both hands, heart racing. I know it's safe, she whispered, but everything in me says don't. That's the difference, Qubit said. I calculate it's safe, but now I believe it is. He knelt on the glass, placing a palm flat against the transparent floor. The wind pulled softly at his coat. Beneath his hand, the sky wrapped around the mountains like breath. This is the closest I've come to flying, he said. It feels undeserved. Patel sat down beside him, her fear slowly melting into awe. You don't have to deserve wonder, she said. You just have to be willing to feel it. They stayed until the sun touched the peaks, casting long golden shadows across the valley. The cold bit through her gloves. Qubit didn't notice, but they both felt the same thing, a moment of weightless clarity, a still point between gravity and grace. Side of the road lake. On the drive back they stopped at an unknown lake. They didn't bother to look at the name, just stopped and looked at the wonder that is, the turquoise water, snow-peaked mountain and forest that is. For dinner, chaya restaurant round 2. Show you ramen 7.2 of 10. Dr. Patel, warm, reliable and comforting, but not extraordinary. The broth had depth but not quite the richness I hoped for. Still, after a cold walk, it felt like a familiar blanket. Qubit, salt and umami balanced at 84%. Noodles springy, broth slightly underpowered but structurally sound. Not a symphony but a competent solo. The ramen was satisfying, especially for Banff's chilly evenings. The soy-based broth leaned classic, not inventive, steady in flavor with moderate complexity. The noodles had a pleasant bite, and the toppings were standard but fresh. Conclusion. Not a bowl that redefines ramen, but one that reminds you why it matters. Sulphur Mountain, above the clouds. They rose in silence, inside the gondola, glass windows framing a slow ascent into the sky. Dr. Patel gripped the edge of her seat as the trees fell away below. I always forget how high this gets. Qubit turned slowly, scanning the peaks. Altitude 2,281 meters. Perspective, immeasurable. At the summit, wind tousled her hair while Qubit stood motionless, processing the vast Rockies in every direction. Does your mind ever stop calculating? She asked. Only when the view overrides the equation. They walked the wooden boardwalk together toward Sanson's Peak. Clouds shifted, and sun spilled gold across the valley. She breathed in deeply. I used to think higher meant farther from life. And now I think it's just another way to see it.